The chosen one is often called to face storms that others cannot even begin to understand. There was a time when loss seemed to follow you, perhaps through lost relationships, missed opportunities, or parts of yourself that felt as though they were slipping away. But in that process of decluttering, you gained something far more valuable: clarity. You began to see what truly mattered. The friendships that faded away showed you who was meant to walk this path with you. The missed chances prepared you for even bigger opportunities. And through it all, you learned to trust in the divine plan rather than your own understanding. Each trial had its own set of pains and rewards. Perhaps betrayal came from someone you trusted deeply. That betrayal wasn't meant to break you. It was a test of forgiveness and discernment. You learned that not everyone could see the vision God placed in your heart. And that was okay. You stopped seeking validation from others and began listening to the still, small voice within. Then came the trials of isolation. The chosen one often walks alone, not because you are unworthy of companionship, but because isolation is where your deepest revelations occur. In those quiet moments, you questioned your purpose and wondered if you were on the right track. But in those times, you discovered a crucial truth: your power comes from within, not from external approval. Remember when you stood at a crossroads unsure of which path to take? Every step forward demanded faith. Sometimes, you chose the more difficult road because you knew it was the right one. Though others questioned your choices, you stayed the course. As you look back now, you can see how each decision brought you closer to your success. Your trials weren't just personal, they were relational too. You encountered people who doubted your abilities, dismissed your dreams, or tried to hinder your progress. These moments were painful, but they taught you the importance of discernment. You learned to set boundaries, protect your energy, and surround yourself with those who uplift you. Don't forget the tests of faith. There were moments when your prayers seemed unanswered, when it felt as though you were walking in the dark. Yet you held on. You chose to believe in something unseen, and that faith became your anchor. As the light shines through, you realize that God was with you all along, guiding your steps, strengthening your spirit. Each trial was not just for you, but for the greater purpose you were destined to serve. Your challenges were preparing you to help others. The wisdom you gained, the strength you developed, and the compassion you now carry are all vital tools for the journey ahead. As you stand in this moment of triumph, take a deep breath. Let gratitude fill your heart. You've passed every test, one by one. You've shown that you're not just powerful, but unshakable. Not only resilient, but unstoppable. This is your victory, and it is well deserved. The chosen one, let me remind you, every storm you've weathered, every mountain you've climbed, every tear you've shed has been worth it. You've walked a unique path, full of hardships meant not to break you but to awaken your inner strength. Know this: you've passed every challenge that came your way, and you are victorious in the eyes of the divine. This journey was no accident. It was meticulously planned. The hardships you encountered were stepping stones, not stumbling blocks. Every trial, every setback, every painful moment was meant to teach you perseverance, to help you rebuild in trust, not fear. Remember the times when life felt like it was falling apart. Financial struggles, relationships ending, losses you never expected. Those moments weren't meant to defeat you but to refine you. They taught you resilience, showing you how to rebuild with faith. Life didn't allow you to skip steps, did it? But with each, why me? You found deeper purpose. Perhaps there were times when you were wrongfully accused or misunderstood. That wasn't a punishment. It was a test of humility. You stood your ground, choosing peace over vengeance. Do you recall the seasons of waiting? You planted seeds, prayed, worked and hoped, but nothing seemed to grow. The silence tested your patience, but you didn't give up. You trusted the process. Now, those seeds are sprouting, yielding a harvest far beyond what you imagined. The chosen one often faces isolation. You may have felt like no one understood your struggles. Friends drifted away, family seemed distant, and you walked alone. But in that solitude, something remarkable happened. You discovered your true self. That isolation became a sanctuary where you could hear God's voice clearly, validating your mission. One of your toughest tests was forgiveness. People hurt you. Maybe they betrayed you, mocked your dreams, or tried to dim your light. But instead of holding on to resentment, you let it go. Forgiveness wasn't for them. It was for you. It freed your heart to move forward without the chains of bitterness holding you back. Do you see how each test had a purpose? The restless nights, the endless prayers, the moments of doubt, they all shaped you. They chipped away at fear, insecurity, and doubt, revealing the masterpiece inside you. You were being molded into someone capable of bearing the weight of your divine calling. And then, there were the tests of faith. How many times did you stand at a crossroads, unsure of which path to choose? The safe option seemed obvious, but the road of faith called to you. You chose faith, even when it didn't make sense to others. And now, as you look around, you see how it all came together. One of the most crucial tests was persistence. There were times when you wanted to quit, when the weight of the world seemed too heavy, but you kept going. You found strength in prayer, in quiet moments with God, knowing your struggles were temporary. And because you persisted, you're now standing on the other side of the storm. Don't forget the test of love. Loving others, even when it wasn't returned, was a hard lesson. You gave your heart, your time, your energy, only to be met with rejection. Yet, you didn't let that harden you. You continued to love, understanding that true love is unconditional. That love has now become a light inside you, radiating outward to those who need it most. The chosen one, your triumph is not just personal. It is spiritual. You've shown yourself, the world, and God that you're ready for the rewards to come. Your faith has opened doors, your tenacity has built bridges, and your love has healed wounds. You are now stepping into a season of abundance, and every lesson you've learned will form the foundation of the life you are about to lead. Your life has been a series of difficult trials, each one designed to prepare you for the greatness that awaits. You've walked through fire and emerged stronger. Most people would not have survived the hardships you've endured, but you have triumphed. You were placed in circumstances that forced you to confront your deepest fears. Perhaps you experienced grief, abandonment, or loss early in life. The pain was intense, yet it became the catalyst for your inner transformation, teaching you to create a foundation that no storm could shake. Then came the test of rejection. Wasn't it one of the hardest trials? Opportunities you yearned for slipped through your fingers. People you thought would stand by you turned away. But these rejections were not failures. They were redirections, leading you closer to your true path. Over time, you understood that rejection was God's way of protecting you from what wasn't meant for you, guiding you toward what you truly needed. The next challenge was an identity crisis. Do you remember feeling lost, unsure of who you truly were or why you were here? The world tried to box you in, to force you into a mold, but you didn't fit. Your spirit rebelled, whispering, "You are not like the others." It was a test of self-awareness, a call to remove the masks you wore for others and to embrace your true essence. The chosen one, your faith too, was tested many times. Those quiet moments when it felt like your prayers were unanswered. When delays, obstacles, and unanswered questions clouded your vision, were not signs of abandonment. They were God's way of testing your trust. Could you trust in His promises even when you couldn't see them? You did. You held on. And now, that trust has led you to this moment. One of the most significant exams you passed was the test of service. You gave without expecting anything in return. You helped others, even when your own resources were scarce. You showed kindness to those who didn't deserve it. Though it may have seemed like your efforts went unnoticed, rest assured, they were not. Every act of service has been recognized, and those seeds you planted are now blossoming into rewards. Then came the test of endurance. Life continuously threw challenges your way, as though checking your breaking point. Financial struggles, health challenges, and personal losses tested your resilience. At times, you wondered if you had the strength to carry on, but you did. You fell, but you rose again, proving that you were indestructible. The eyesight exam was next. Others mocked your dreams, doubted your ambitions, and tried to convince you to settle for less. But you refused. You nurtured your vision in silence, shielded it from the criticism, and worked tirelessly to bring it to life. Now, as you reap the rewards of your labor, those same skeptics are in awe. The test of humility was another you passed. Despite your accomplishments, you stayed grounded. You knew that your success was a result of divine grace, not solely your own efforts. You used your platform to elevate others, not to raise yourself. This humility is what ensures that your success will endure, forever anchored in God's favor. Now, let's reflect on the test of patience. You were shown glimpses of the future, promises of what was to come, but you had to wait, and wait. Patience tested your trust in God's timing, forcing you to surrender your timeline for His. And in the waiting, you discovered the beauty of divine timing. You understood that everything falls into place at the perfect moment. Today, we are not just reflecting on your journey, we are celebrating it. Your successes were hard-won. You were shaped by each trial, each setback. Every moment of hesitation served a purpose. You weren't failing, you were evolving. Remember those moments when you felt like you were at the bottom, when every step forward was followed by 2 steps back. Those were the times your character was being formed. Those moments of uncertainty, when you questioned if you were on the right path, were the most significant lessons of your life. You were not failing, you were growing. Think back to the test of self-doubt. The voice that said, "You're not good enough. This dream is too big for you. You'll never make it." It was loud, persistent, and convincing. But you didn't let it define you. You rose above it. Every time you felt unworthy or incapable, you found the courage to keep going. You fought back with belief, and those doubts, they only made you stronger. Next was the perception test. Society tried to box you in, label you, make you fit into a preordained mold, but you refused. You didn't follow the rules. Instead, you embraced your individuality and understood that your uniqueness was your power. You were never meant to fit in. You were born to stand out and carve your own path. The faith test followed. When everything seemed to be falling apart, when doors slammed shut and opportunities slipped away, you held onto your faith. It wasn't easy, but you trusted that God's purpose for you was greater than your immediate struggles. And now, as you step into the next chapter, you can see how each step of faith has led you here, to this breakthrough moment. Then came the relationship test. You experienced both deep connections and painful betrayals. You faced misunderstanding, heartache, and grief. But through it all, you learned the power of unconditional love. You learned forgiveness and how to release the weight of resentment. These lessons deepened your empathy and understanding of true love. The resilience test was perhaps the toughest. Resilience is more than bouncing back. It's moving forward with grace after every setback. You fell, but you never stayed down. Each failure was a lesson, a stepping stone to something greater. With each trial, you became stronger, more resilient, and unbreakable. You also passed the tests of clarity and vision. There were times when you had to walk in faith, uncertain of where the next step would take you. Yet you stayed committed to your path. Others questioned you, doubted your decisions, but you remained focused. And now, you see the clarity that has emerged. The vision in your heart is becoming a reality. Patience and gratitude also played significant roles in your journey. Waiting. Sometimes feeling like the universe was withholding from you, but knowing in your heart that preparation was taking place. You were learning to appreciate what you had, and through gratitude, you attracted more blessings into your life. The alignment test taught you that when you live in accordance with your truth, everything flows. You've aligned your actions with your purpose, and now you see how everything is falling into place. Your story is one of resilience, faith, and divine purpose. You have endured, But you have not been defined by your struggles. You've weathered storms, climbed mountains, and crossed rivers. Every step brings you closer to victory. But remember, the secret power within you is the ability to overcome fear. Fear, the silent barrier between where you are and where you want to go. It tried to hold you back, but you stepped forward anyway, embracing your destiny. That is where true power lies. The test of forgiveness allowed you to release the burdens of betrayal, bitterness, and resentment. It set you free, enabling you to soar and heal. You chose peace over anger, freedom over grudges. The vulnerability test pushed you to open your heart, even when it was scary. You learned that vulnerability is not weakness, but the gateway to deeper connection and healing. You also passed the abundance test, realizing that abundance is not just about money. It's about shifting your focus from lack to gratitude. And when you did, wealth flowed into your life in every form. The self-worth test challenged you to redefine your value. You realized your worth does not come from what you have or what others think. Your worth is intrinsic, rooted in the divine love within you. The test of intent helped you discover your true purpose. Your journey wasn't always clear, but now you know your mission to serve, to love, and to make a difference in the world. Finally, you passed the community test. You learned to surround yourself with those who lift you up while letting go of those who drain you. This clarity has elevated you. And as you reach the final stages, remember that every trial, every test, has transformed you into the person you were always meant to be. Your transformation has been profound, and now, divine timing is at work. You've waited, prayed, and believed, and now your breakthrough is here. The time has come. Your moment has arrived. Victory is yours, chosen one. Don't forget to like this video, share it with those who need to hear this message, and subscribe to the channel for more empowering content. If you feel a deeper connection to this journey, consider joining the channel membership for exclusive insights and support. Let's continue this transformative journey together.